1.
Our book title is Delusional, and our theory is the hallucinations theory.
When Jesus died, he was never risen, but the disciples were so grief-stricken that they hallucinated an interaction with Jesus, and then that led them to take his body and bury it in their own territory to be close to the friend. And Paul, he was a very troubled man, so he got into drugs and then hallucinated the light appearing to him, which then led to his conversion. And then lastly, James, he was converted only because he wanted to believe his brother.
That's it.
All right. Any questions?
Okay.
Perfect. All right.
30 seconds.
He's getting
No, they stole the body after they hallucinated that he was alive, and they went and stole the dead body, and then I don't know. So he's alive, then he's dead.
I'm so
he
died.
15 seconds.
Okay, let me look at it.
But James was the one that never knew Jesus. No, I meant Paul. Yeah, Paul never knew Jesus.
Just a second, sorry, I'm getting the camera calibrated here.
It was part of it.
Alright, sorry, you're good.
My mom.
So this is just a quick clarification. You guys said the disciples under grief hallucinated an interaction with Jesus, the risen Jesus, and then they stole his body to bury it.
Yes, because they hallucinated that they saw him and they were oh, we really miss him, and so they went and took his body to be closer to him.
Does that clarify?
No, it does not.
Okay.
To me, that seems like a contradiction in and of itself.
Alright, that's not a clarification question, so if you're going to point out a contradiction, you have to go for a point.
Alright,
I'll go. Alright, go for the point.
that seems like a contradiction that the disciples hallucinated him alive and well, and then stole his dead body.
But it's hallucinations.
But if they believed they saw the risen Jesus and then proclaimed his resurrection for all to believe his resurrection, then they stole his body,
Yes.
his dead body, and they're proclaiming the truth of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Well,
really
then why would they die for a lie?
Because they really believed it.
The liars make poor martyrs.
Whoops, sorry, wrong one. Nicely done. Okay.
Well,
I'm not
because you had it out of order.
30 seconds.
How do you explain him appearing in the 500?
Let us confer real quick.
That's not true.
Okay, so bad. Okay, so our I have to repeat it.
Yes, for my sake. Okay, hold up, we're going to pretend like she hasn't answered that yet, so she's going to answer again just for
Let me
the...
just say this again.
Alright, just say exactly what you did for the most part. Okay. Do that again. Do that again, Brock. There you go. Okay, go ahead, Carrie.
So basically, they were all at a party celebrating that Jesus had died, and then they all got under the same influence, and they all believed the same thing because they're all under the same drug.
Okay, I guess I have a clarification first.
Wait, do you want to push back on that?
Well, yes. But
Go ahead. First, push back on that.
Well, I kind of need to know something first.
Okay.
I just need to know what drug it was.
Shrooms. Because they have mushrooms.
The mushrooms on the ground.
Shrooms. There you go. You want to push back on that?
Yeah. Okay, so all 500 people
Yes.
took the exact same drug. Okay, and all 500 people had the exact same hallucination of a guy they weren't even close with.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
We can get back up. No, we can't. Yeah, we saw.
It's like our eighth.
So can I just clarify your part of the theory for Paul, right?
Yes.
So he took drugs and hallucinated the whole thing happening to him.
Yes.
Okay, so can I read a quick passage out of the Bible?
Are we still clarifying?
All right, I'm going for the point.
Okay, go for the point.
All right, so this is Acts chapter 9. We're taking the Bible as a historical source. Now Saul was still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord. He went to the high priest and requested letters from him to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any men or women who belonged to the way, he might bring them as prisoners to Jerusalem. As he traveled and was nearing Damascus, a light from heaven suddenly flashed around him. Falling to the ground, he heard a voice saying to him, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" "Who are you, Lord?" Saul said. "I am Jesus, the one who you are persecuting," he replied. "But get up and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do." The men who were traveling with him stood speechless, hearing the sound but seeing no one. Saul got up from the ground, and though his eyes were open, he could see nothing. So if there were men around Saul as he was traveling to the road, there's no mention of drugs here, by the way, in the historical source. How could they see, or how could they hear what Saul was experiencing?
See, now we're just gonna infer that they were on drugs because their past says so.
Where does it say that, though?
Just like we knew he was a partier.
How do you know that?
It's a theory. It's a theory.
Well, your theory can't hold water because you've got one historical source against this whole thing. No mention of drugs, by the way.
Okay, for my sake, what exactly is your point?
My point is that there were people traveling with Saul on the road to Damascus. He was not partying at all, or he was not under the influence of drugs at all. But they heard what they said Saul hallucinated under the influence of drugs.
And y'all's response to that was?
It's past. It's past. I think that's what I said.
Past, okay.
Yeah. Oh, guys.
So like, obviously,
Just go.
Stop laughing.
30 seconds.
30 seconds?
obviously,
Like you guys like.
Oh, crazy. Yeah.
so like, what like time did the disciples like dig the hole? Was it before the women had found?
Well, they didn't dig a hole.
I thought.
That was the other theory. That wasn't our theory.
My bad. So like, what time did the disciples go to see Jesus? Because they missed him.
We don't know that. We don't know what
How
time
did
of
they?
day.
Wasn't the tomb like still shut?
No, they rolled away the tomb.
But didn't the women find it empty first?
No.
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 Even though it's recorded in like all four gospels.
Well, it's the Bible that records it.
It's also a historical document.
Wait, what historical document? Skylar, stop.
What historical document?
Yeah, besides the Bible.
The Bible is a historical document.
We're saying besides the Bible, though.
Besides the Bible? I mean, I can't.
I'm so